Jet Rose for the Times-Picayune and NOLA.com here at Catholic High School with Coach Pete Boudreaux, coming off of the 7th outdoor state title in 8 years, 3rd in a row, and also a couple months ago, the 9th straight indoor state championship for the track team. And you are our first ever All-Baton Rouge area boys track and field coach of the year. Certainly congrats on another fantastic year for you guys. And what kind of stands out about this one? As we talk after every state championship the last few years since we've been in Baton Rouge, and you say as many as y'all have racked up, they're all special. When you look at this year and the success y'all had cross-country, indoor, and outdoor, what are you going to remember most about 2014, 2015?
Oh, God, there's so many things. First, I'd just like to thank y'all for the recognition for the performances that these guys have come through with through the course of the year. This year was really a unique year in that we knew we had some holes to fill, and we knew we had some good returnees, and it's not like the cupboard was bare, but we thought we were going to be pretty good. I'm going to be honest though, Jared, I never anticipated a year like we had. Mm-hmm. We had a combination of a lot of things. We had some guys that have been with us 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and it just kind of been guys on the team, and all of a sudden they turned into huge contributors this year. And then we had a few young guys that stepped up, and the next thing you know, we were running times that we've never run. The relays were probably as much a surprise as anything, especially the sprint relays, because we had a couple of guys coming back from last year, and then we plugged in a few new guys, and we had a freshman, Seth Hoya, that turned into a very good sprinter, and then we had a senior that had been coaching genius, had been long jumping for us for 3 years, and we decided to let him try to sprint. And he proved to us that he's a pretty darn good sprinter, Logan Hart, and he was a guy you just never figured he was going to have a year like that. And then Pierce Hill, the distance guy, stepped up. Jeffrey Kelly, we knew he was going to do well. He had a great cross-country season. But outdoor meet is almost a replay of a year ago. The field event guys did so well. Heck, they scored 58 points just in the field events. So that's incredible. That probably would have been enough to win the meet. And then we got on the track, picked up another 63 or whatever it was points. So it was a surprising year. When I say that, I don't mean that I didn't think we were going to be any good. I felt like we would have a good team, but God, score the most points that have been scored in the 5A state meet. That was never a goal or anything. Right. Surely it wasn't even something we thought about. It just happened.
Right. And some of those things, when obviously any state championship is going to be a really enjoyable thing to bring back to a school and to that group of guys, but to do it the way y'all did in such convincing fashion, and you mentioned the most points in a 5A outdoor meet by a team. Does that add a little something to it to put that extra mark there?
Oh, no doubt, man. It puts the asterisk by it because it makes you a special group. What they accomplished, and the way they did it. We did have a lot of points in the field events, and by the time we ran the first running event, it's kind of, wow, this thing may be over. Mm-hmm. But then the guys kept performing. They kept getting seasonal best performances of the year, and they just kept putting these big-time marks up there. And that was just impressive because, they could have just kind of relaxed. Okay, we got it. No, man, I'm telling you, they stayed charged up the entire, and they just kind of fed off of one another. Just a fun thing to watch, fun to be a part of it.
How similar is that to the bigger picture of what y'all have been able to accomplish here? When you look at, there's a concern a lot of times, whichever sport it is, when you have this success, will they come back hungry and have that same drive? And y'all have been able to year after year have that consistency for the most part. And so you mentioned the guys on the track being able to stay hungry and keep doing, a couple weeks ago, keep doing what they were capable of doing, stretching that lead out and having those great days. It's almost like what y'all have done over the last decade overall.
It's been a good run. It's just incredible. And, it's a combination of things. Yes, we have had some good athletes, but we've also had a lot of average guys that just became outstanding because of their work ethic and buying into the program. And then the coaches that I've been blessed with. Yeah. And, part of that is I love competition. I always have. I just, grew up in a neighborhood. Anything we did, we were always competing against one another. And we didn't hate each other. We just loved to compete against each other. And I guess I bring that same thing to coaching. And sometimes the coaches may get tired of it, or either my guys get tired of it, but apparently they haven't yet. But I'm always saying, we got to be better next week than we were this week. And we just constantly preaching that. And I expect that from myself. I expect it from our coaches, and they deliver. And I pushing our guys, trying to motivate them. Don't just accept where you are. We got to get better. And I think that's just kind of it's just a feeling that's permeated our entire program. Coaches just always telling us to get better, and somehow I kind of apologize. Guys, don't get upset with me, but I just want you to be better than you are right now. And we're just constantly pushing for it. If you're capable of breaking records, you should break records. If you're capable of having the best performance you've ever had, whether it's a school record, it doesn't have to be a record, but if you're capable of doing that, by gosh, get out and do it. That's always going to be your goal.
And we're talking, I guess, before the video started too. This was an interesting year to start out with just, there was a lot of construction here, and so y'all were kind of moving around, figuring out as y'all were starting preparation this year. What was that like? Because stuff like that can sometimes drive a coach of 14, 15, 16-year-old guys pretty crazy, not having that, I guess, the stability of where we're going to be, and having to deal with some small adversity right off the bat, and something so basic as where we're going to be practicing. What was that like were there times early on where you had to kind of keep them focused and say, regardless of where we are, we've still got to do the same type of thing?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it really never was a problem. We did not have a track until right before the outdoor season started. But we always tell our guys this, and my coaches know it. And, Chris Carey, I could tell some great stories on him when he first started coaching with us. And we always tell the guys, and all the coaches know it, I don't care what the weather is, we're going to practice. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a track, we're still going to practice. So we were going to get something done every day somewhere. Now, when the football field was finished, became available, we were able to use that for a little while. We ran in the parking lot. We ran when it was raining. We ran when it was cold. Zach Winfield was good enough at Baton Rouge High. He'd let us come over there a day a week. But the primary thing, and it was just embedded in everyone's mind, that we're not going to make excuses. Shoot. No. And, we could have just said, the indoor season, let's just blow that one off, because we're not going to be able to prepare like we'd like to. Well, heck with it. The indoor season's here, and we're going to compete in it. No. So the guys just did a great job of adjusting to it. And, I guess a lot of it goes back to the first 6-8 years I coached. We never had a track here. So we ran on grass, we ran in the mud, we ran on Kleinert Avenue, we did whatever we had to do. And some of those teams were very successful without a track. In fact, it was kind of a joke. One of the sports writers, Joe Planish, years back, he used to call us the trackless wonders. We had a good track team, but we didn't have a track. So, it's just part of who I am and part of who we are. We don't make excuses. You just got to get your work done. And yes, someone else may have better facility, but that doesn't mean you can't get your work done. And someone else maybe somewhere where the sun's shining, it may not be shining here. We still got to get our work done.
Another strong year of work for Catholic and the Bears track teams, indoor, outdoor, and strong cross country year as well. Coach Pete Boudreaux over here, our All-Baton Rouge area boys track and field coach of the year. For NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, Jarrett Roser.